There's a sound that texture makes. That scratch, that drag, that little bit of resistance under your hand. The same sound we started with all the way back in episode 1 when we were scribbling. Most of us haven't heard that sound in years because most of what we touch all day is glass or a keyboard. Welcome to today's episode. I'm on a mission. I'm on a quest to change the world one imperfect line at a time. And how's your nervous system today? Do a little check-in. Is it zingy or calm, or is it in between? Mine's been asking for texture all week, and that's what this episode is all about. The analogue rewilding of sensory experience. Before I get any further in today's episode, I want to introduce today's line. In this series, at the end of each episode, I'm going to share with you a little live hands-on demo of spontaneous mark making and taking a line for a walk in real time, here and now. So come along with me. Let me show you where I'm doing it, and then every week you'll be able to watch today's line. Here's my studio. Here's my desk. It's usually much more messy than this. And this is where I'm going to take a line for a walk. And here's something you can do with me right now. Gather a few pieces of paper, any kind, all sorts, because there's real science behind why your hand and your brain want this. Run your hand over each one. Which one is smooth? Which one is rough? Which one slips? Which one glides? Which one drags? Does one have a tooth to it? Which one feels like textured and rough? Start to explore with your hands. Consider your personal connection with paper. Maybe you haven't done anything like this since you were a kid at school. Maybe you're an artist who draws every day, but you've forgotten to experience that first connection with your paper, or why it settles you when you draw. Or maybe it's not drawing at all for you. Maybe you're a writer, or you journal. Maybe you do morning pages, as Julia Cameron suggested we all do in her book, The Artist's Way. And however you've met paper before, this feeling is already in your hands. We've just sometimes lost touch with it. So this is an opportunity to notice again. I don't want to make untrue claims here. There's real science, EEG research, that shows that connecting with paper, whether you're drawing or writing or creating, lights up more parts of the brain and encodes memory better than when you are typing on a screen or on a keyboard. There's a sensory thing that happens because our hands and our skin are sensory organs. And we get the feedback from the pressure and the experience and the sound that happens when we are making on paper. So what I offer you here is an invitation to notice. I can't say that this has been proven, but from my own experience, I know that when I take a line for a walk, when I drag a piece of charcoal across a piece of textured paper, or even smooth paper, or a canvas, which I've done, or if I take a pen, which is a gel roller, and I draw on a piece of printer paper, there is a definite sensory effect that my nervous system responds to and starts to become more present. You feel like you are slowing down. It brings your brain, your mind, your whole body into a state of real presence. And there's an artist I think about a lot when I think of this. Part of my practice is movement. It's a really important part of my practice. And I follow the energy that comes out of my hand onto the paper. And it's something about the movement, especially the coloring in and the scribbling or scratching marks. And even a calm line across a page feels like I'm aware of how my body is making a movement, and it brings me to awareness of my breath. And I'm really in the process, which switches my mind off from everything else outside and again brings me into the present moment. An artist that I think of is Cy Twombly. If you've never seen his work, it looks like scribbling and loops and scratches and marks that seem almost childish. And people actually criticized him for that at the time. And he stood by his process and said, "My line is childlike, not childish." There is a difference. And this is what we want to aim towards, being childlike is being present. And drawing and making with our hands is just the most beautiful way to get back to that state of childlike innocence, awareness, and curiosity. And what Cy Twombly meant about his own mark and process was that he had the trust in the process to move with freedom, his whole arm, his whole body, not just his wrist, trusting that the line was sufficient. And the paper recorded that speed and the pressure in the moment. And that is what he exhibited and showed to the world. And he even made blind drawings, not looking at the page, long before I even thought to teach that. He wasn't careless. He was trusting the process and staying with childlike curiosity to see what emerged. And that's really at the heart of what I want to try today and invite you to try with me if you want to. It's a small piece of what I call analogue rewilding. Moving away from the glass, moving away from the screens, and moving towards something with texture and letting your hand make a mark before your mind has time to approve it. And I'm well aware of the irony here. I'm reaching out to you through a screen with my voice, through a piece of glass, to invite you to move away from the glass towards texture and your hands. That's just how it is these days. Through the glass comes the invitation, and the paper is actually where you arrive and come home to yourself. You really don't need anything fancy for this. I'm using Crayola pencil crayons, and I can earn something if you buy them through my link. And this is a piece of backing board from a t-shirt or something. And all I'm going to do, I'm not even going to look, I'm just going to drag this along. Listen to the drag. Maybe repeat it. I know you can hardly see anything on this. The point is not to make anything you can even see or that's remotely impressive. The point is to explore the texture. Maybe change it up. Change the mark. The way you make it. The sound it makes, the speed or direction. And just keep repeating until you find a sense of presence coming over you. And here's why this matters to me beyond what I'm telling you today. And I said this in my TEDx talk. If everybody took a line for a walk every single day, the world could be a better place. And this is not metaphorical, it's actually literal. Because drawing is proven to change our brains, decrease our stress, increase empathy, and allows a space for our brains to open up to seeing more possibilities for new creative solutions. And when we're connected to ourselves like that, we can go out and serve in the world where we need to from a place of deep self-connection rather than a place of depletion. And right now, as I speak, this tactile idea of analogue rewilding is running through a flow drawing adventure that I'm currently running in my flow drawing community. It's called Slow Sundays. And inside we're exploring texture and paper week by week. And in the end, we're going to bind all the paper together into a very special, unique document of our 3 weeks together, so that we have this textured journal that we can continue to create in going forward. And I can't invite you to participate in that one right now because it's for women that are already inside my community. But I wanted to give you a taste of what happens in real time inside my world. In next week's episode, I'm going to go somewhere completely different, looking at the science of why creativity needs to be thought of as sitting alongside the necessary things for our health, such as good sleep, good food, good exercise, and getting into nature. And there are real researchers building the case for that right now, and I'd love for you to meet them. So come back next week. But before you go, here's today's line. And you'll see that the way I make lines is different every time, because in the moment I'm following the energy that wants to come out of my hand onto the paper. And that is changeable and in flux all the time. I start with no plan and just begin. Today's line feels like it's on this kitchen paper towel with charcoal. It feels like I need to move slowly. And if this is new to you and you want a gentler way in, I've got a free practice for you to try called Permission to Doodle. The link is below. And watch to the end of this video to see the flow drawing emerge. And let me know in the comments how it affects your brain watching someone draw slowly. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, for more flow drawing with Brenda. And in the meantime, go get that free doodle play date and let me know how it goes for you. Bye for now. And remember to hit the subscribe button here so you don't miss out on next Wednesday on our quest to make the world a better place, one imperfect line at a time. I'll see you then.